Okay, we are on Reish Pei Beis Amid Beis. We're in Siman Taf Yud Ches, and we're up to the second line of Reish Pei Beis Amid Beis Sif Daled. So yesterday we spoke about if somebody is makabel atinus, if a yochid, an individual, is makabel atinus, and we had a few different cases. The first case is Sif Gimel was an individual who is makabel atinus for X amount of days. So let's say an individual is makabel atinus for 10 days, and in the middle of those 10 days there's going to be Rosh Chodesh, or if an individual is makabel on himself, just straight out, beferish, I'm being makabel atinus on Rosh Chodesh. So in that case, the Mechaber said that Kabbalah's tinus is worthless. It doesn't take place. You don't have to keep that tinus. And you don't need Hatorah, you don't need anything. Then the Mechaber said, how about if you do it B'loshen Neder? If you say Harei Alai. So Harei Alai, you need a Tzarech Hataras Chacham. Now you need Hataras Neder. And I explained yesterday that the reason you need Hataras Neder is because over there you asered the chayfetz. Over there you asered the food. You said that the food should be to you like a carbon. So that has nothing to do with Rosh Chodesh. You have to be matir neder, otherwise you can't eat that food. So you have to be matir the neder. Now in Sif Daled we have another case. Im nishba lehis anois kach v'kach yamim va'era behem Rosh Chodesh. Let's say you made a shavua. So this is a third darga. It's a third level. The first one was just a Kabbalah. A Kabbalah tinus. That's less than a shvua, it's less than a neder. The second one was a neder. You made a neder. Now we have, how about you made a shvua? You made a shvua that you're going to fast for X amount of days, and amongst those days is Rosh Chodesh. Says the Mechaber, ha-shvua chal alav, the shvua is going to be chal, it's going to take place. Why? Mitam iser kol. Because now you have a new problem. If you make a Kabbalah, if you make a shvua that you're going to fast for 10 days, and one of those days is Rosh Chodesh, there's nothing preventing the shvua from being chal on the other 9 days. The other 9 days are regular days. Once the shvua is chal on 9 days, it's also going to be chal on the 10th day, even though the 10th day happens to be Rosh Chodesh. Let's take a look at how the Mishnah Berurah spells this out. Mitam iser koil, the Mechaber said. So ice cut and test. The Mechaber says, Mitam iser koil, debigu dechal shvuasai ayamim hamutarim, since the shvua is going to be chal for the days that you're allowed to fast, chal shvuasai nami gam ayamim asur b'tainus. So now, because of an iser koil, literally the words iser koil means it's an iser that includes a lot of different components. So when you make a shvuah on 10 days, it's chal on day number 1, day number 2, day number 3, day number 4. If day number 6 happens to be Rosh Chodesh, so that day number 6 is nichlal. It's joined together with the other days. So if it's chal for certain of the days, it's chal for that day also. Because you wrapped up all of the days in one lashon. You took 10 disparate days, and you made a shvur that you want to fast for 10 days. One of those 10 days is Rosh Chodesh. Now, since it could be chal for the other 9, it could be chal for the 10th one also. So now the shvua is going to be chal. The Mechaber says, Weiter, V'em nishba beferish lehisanes b'Rosh Chodesh, if you made a shvua only to be misana on Rosh Chodesh, so now your shvua was not, I'm making a shvua to fast for 10 days. Your shvua was, I'm making a shvua to fast on Rosh Chodesh. Says the Mechaber, Nira li shechal olav shvua. The Mechaber says it appears to him that also still the shvua will be chal. Why? Kevan she'enoi elam d'Rabbanan. Because the whole isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh, according to the Mechaber, is only an isser d'Rabbanan. And a shvua is a din daraisa. So you made a shvua, that shvua, it creates an isser daraisa. Your isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh is only an isser d'Rabbanan. So when you have an isser d'Rabbanan and an isser daraisa conflicting with each other, the daraisa is going to win. So your shvua is going to be chal. Ela shemedivrei harambam, but according to the Rambam, nira l'chayre shehu midaraisa. The Rambam seems to hold that the isser of fasting is an isser daraisa. So according to him, it's an isser daraisa, then the shvur won't be chal. V'ayin l'kamon siman taf kuf ayin siv gimel. Let's see how the Mishnah Berurah spells this out.
What about a woman? It's a yomtiv for her.
Yeah.
Is it different?
Not really, because again, that's not going to be a deraisa. That's also going to be a derabanan. Whether you're also to fast on Rosh Chodesh or not, whether it's an issa derabanan or it's an issa deraisa, is going to be the same for both the man and the woman. You're right that the woman has a greater obligation to be mechaber Rosh Chodesh, we saw, than the man does, but it's still not going to rise to the level of a deraisa. Okay. Nirali shechala alav shvua is cut yud. The Mechaber says it seems to him that the shvua should be chal. Kalaymar shagam bazeh chala alav shvua. That even the Mechaber already said in the beginning of Sif Dalid that the shvua is chal if it's an iser kail. If you were made a shvua to fast for 10 days and Rosh Chodesh is one of them. Now the Mechaber is saying an even greater chiddush. If you made a shvua to fast specifically on Rosh Chodesh, gam bazeh. Even in that case, the Mechaber says chala alav shvua. The shvua should be chal because it's only an issa d'rabbanan to fast on Rosh Chodesh, and the being mechab not to fast on Rosh Chodesh is only an issa d'rabbanan. Is cutting an aleph elam d'rabbanan. V'al kein shvua chal alav ad sheyatir. So now the shvua will be chal until you're mat to the shvua. V'chamavur b'yaredei siman reish lametes sivav. Over there, very interesting mechaber. Over there in Yeridea, the mechaber says if somebody makes a shvua on an issa d'rabbanan, so let's say somebody makes a shvua that he's not going to light Chanukah licht.
Is it with knowledge or without knowledge? Does it make a difference?
Not really, no. Really not going to matter. The bottom line is you made a shvua. So somebody made a shvua that he's not going to light Chanukah licht. He's not going to light Chanukah licht. He has a chiyuv d'rabbanan to light Chanukah licht. But he's a chiyuv d'rabbanan to keep a chiyuv d'araisa to keep his shvua.
But let's say he didn't know that he wasn't allowed to fast from Rosh Chodesh or that he had to.
So he'll use that as a pesach to be matir.
Right.
He'll go to a chacham and he'll be matir the shvua, matir the neder, based on that pesach.
Is it allowed to make that shvua?
It can't be allowed to make the shvua because again, it's only an issa d'rabbanan. So how could it be allowed? The lav of a shvuas bitui, the lav of a shvuas bitui, let's say, would be to make a shvua that it's impossible to keep. So somebody's going to make a shvua that I'm not going to eat for 30 days. You're not going to eat for 30 days, you're going to die. It's a shvua that's impossible to keep. So that would be shvuas bitui.
Someone makes a shvua, I am not going to keep the rabbanon of muktzah.
He's got a problem. He's got a problem. He's got a problem on his hands. It's not different. It's not different. The shvua is going to be chal. He's going to have to unload that shvua somehow.
No, but now you can say, okay, so now I don't have to get the law of the
No, you're stuck. It's a d'rabbanan. You're going to have to keep the d'rabbanan. You're going to have to get out of the shvua.
So you have to light the Hanukkah candles, or you're not allowed to fast on. So you're saying you have to try to get out of it.
So I wanted to look. 1 second. Let's finish Ice cutting Yud Aleph. Valkein shvua chala alav ad sheyater v'chamuvur b'yaredei siman reish lametes sivav. Sorry. Hi, I'm in the middle of saying a shir.
Oh, you should make a quick pay when you're done.
Yeah, sure. Valkein shvua chala alav ad sheyater v'chamuvur b'yaredei siman reish lametes sivav. Valkein be'inyanenu nami mechuyev lahater v'chanal. He's mechuyev to be matir the shvua. He's mechuyev to be matir the shvua because he has the chiyuv d'rabbanan that's making him, like you say, keep the yisurei muktzah, or he has the chiyuv d'rabbanan that's not allowing him to fast. So he's mechuyev to be matir the shvua, but the shvua is chal. He's got to be matir the shvua.
So two things. First of all, if he's out of town, there's no rub, he can't matter the shvua, so that's a problem. And does it make a difference if it's a passive or an active sin that he's dealing with? Like in this case, in the case of not fasting, or not,
Right. Unless they're not lighting the Chanukah licht.
They're not lighting the Chanukah.
You have a chiyuv d'rabbanan. You have to light the Chanukah licht.
So
I think that's the case. I think that's, you know what? Siyata d'shmaya. This is exactly the volume that we need. Reish Lametes. I think it is. No, actually it's Yeridei Gimel. Yeridei.
Like a deraisa because we have to do
still a rabbanon.
It's a rabbanon, but the rabbanon.
I understand what you're saying. That's
Here,
what I'm asking.
Reish Lametes.
perfect to listen to the Rabbanan. It becomes,
That's why I'm asking the question.
becomes a terrible one.
What am I looking at here? You know, these newfangled prints, I don't even know what they look like. I open up the Seif and I look inside and it looks all strange with these new prints. Reish Lamed Tes Sifav. Hanishbal Dvar Mitzvah D'Rabbanan. Kegayin Shaloi Lahadlik Der Shal Chanukah Oy Shaloi Likra Megillah. Hashvua Chala. V'chein Nishbal L'Kayim Mitzvah D'Rabbanan Chayiv Mishum Shvua Im Mevatla. V'adin l'davar shu medrash chachamim she'enu b'furish b'Torah b'amed dvar mamur b'nishbar shaloi la'asis mitzvah d'Rabbanan ayla asoysa v'lo b'nishbar lavra mitzvah loisa say afilu hi d'Rabbanan lo chala olav shvua lavra mitzvah loisa say afilu hi d'Rabbanan. Just wanted to see if he says over here, Farish. I don't see it, that you have to be matir. The Chaber doesn't say that you have to be matir. All right, over the Chalapachas, the Mishnah Berurah over here says that you're mechuyev to be matir the shvua. Okay. Ois cut Yud Beis, Shahu Midaraisa. So the Mechaber said that according to the Rambam, the Isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh is a din daraisa. So the Mishnah Berurah says, it's cut Yud Beis, Shahu Midaraisa. Hainu Midiksiv, and I mentioned this yesterday, where do you get an Isser daraisa on fasting on Rosh Chodesh? Midiksiv uvemayadechem uverashei chachechem. That's the pasuk says over there. It's iskish Rosh Chodesh l'mayid. Rosh Chodesh has the same din as a mayid of yom simchaschem umayadechem uverashei chachechem. So you see, the pasuk is comparing Rosh Chodesh to a regular Yom Tov. So the same way there's an isser on a regular Yom Tov to fast, it's isser daraisa. So there's an isser on Rosh Chodesh to fast as well. So according to the Rambam, that the Isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh is a daraisa, the only way the shvua to fast could be chal is if it's an Isser kail. Like you said, you're going to fast for 10 days, but regularly it couldn't be chal. Aval hashach b'yerdei siman reish tes vav sif katan yud aleph kasav da'afilu tema de Rosh Chodesh b'daraisa aser lehisanos. Even according to the Rambam, that is an issa daraisa to fast on Rosh Chodesh mikam makam shvua chala alav. The Shach says that the shvua to fast would still be chal kevan she'ena mefurish b'Torah behedya keshabbos v'yom tov. The Shach makes the bar a little bit different. Right now we're saying that the bar is it a d'Rabbanan or is it a daraisa? If it's an issa d'Rabbanan to fast, so then the shvua is an issa daraisa, the shvua is chal. If according to the Rambam it's an issa daraisa to fast, so then the shvua can't be chal. Because it's a daraisa on a daraisa, you can't make a shvua to go against a daraisa. Then the shvua won't be chal. According to the Shach, the bar is a little bit different. Even if it's a daraisa, it depends. Is it mefurish in the Torah? Is it clearly stated in the Torah that you're not allowed to fast? If it would be clearly stated in the Torah, then the shvua can't be chal. If it's not clearly stated in the Torah, just we're learning it out from a hekish, then the Shach says the shvua would be chal. Now it's interesting because over here it says that the Isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh is not mefurish in the Torah. It's not clearly stated in the Torah kishabbos v'yom tov, like it is by Shabbos and Yom Tov. Where is it a clear in the pasuk? Where is it a clear Isser daraisa to fast on Shabbos and Yom Tov? So for that, if you take a look in the Dirshu, in footnote 13. Footnote 13, it says over here, V'ha'isr midaraisa lehisanos b'Shabbos. Where do you find an isser daraisa to fast on Shabbos? Kasav b'bir halacha le'el siman reish pei ches sif aleph dibra maschel aser Shenilman mea pasuk. It's learned out from the pasuk by the mun. By the mun, Moshe Rabbeinu told Klal Yisrael that on Erev Shabbos you're going to have double mun. So you're going to eat on Friday, then on Shabbos no mun is going to fall, and Moshe Rabbeinu told them, Ichluhu hayoim, eat today on Shabbos the extra mun that fell yesterday. So that tzivoy of Ichluhu hayoim, eat the mun today, it creates an Issa Daraisa that you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos.
So how does Yom Kippur override that?
How does Yom Kippur? Well, Yom Kippur is a mitzvah say Daraisa clearly stated in the pasuk. They have to fast.
So you're saying this is a heck?
Yeah, but it would override it. It would override it anyway. Even if there was a Beferish pasuk that said to eat on Shabbos, if there was another Beferish pasuk that said don't eat on Yom Kippur, v'haisif sheyesh paiskim shesayvim. There are other paiskim that say shaha'isr lehisanos b'Shabbos hurak b'divrei Kabbalah, that it's not really beferish in the pasuk. It's b'divrei Kabbalah me'akasav v'karas ala Shabbos oinig. B'divrei Kabbalah over here doesn't mean what we usually call Kabbalah. Divrei Kabbalah over here means we learn it out from Navi. Navi in Shas is called Divrei Kabbalah. So in Navi it says v'karas ala Shabbos oinig, that you have to have oinig Shabbos. So the chiyuv of oinig Shabbos includes that you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos. And in footnote number 12, it just says over here, since we're discussing this machlokes, whether or not the Isser to fast is a Rabbanan or Daraisa, he brings down here in footnote 12, Ulekaman kasav sha'magen Avram hichriya, the Magen Avram is machriya, shah Isser lehisanos b'rosh chodesh hu midrabanan, that the Isser of fasting on Rosh Chodesh is only an Isser Rabbanan, v'shekain gam das hagra, that the Gra agreed to that as well. Okay, now we go to Sif Hey. Hamisane b'rosh chodesh ay b'Chanukah uPurim tainus chaloim. Let's say somebody fasts on Rosh Chodesh or on Chanukah or on Purim a tainus chaloim. A tainus chaloim is somebody had a dream, and it was a bad dream, and it bothered him. He can't shake it. Sometimes you have a dream, and it's a nasty dream, but it's a dream. You dream all sorts of crazy things, so it's a big deal. It's a dream. Sometimes you have a dream that just eats you. You can't shake it. And somehow it feels too real to you. So I know Reb Ruvain, there was one very, very, very chush of a person who affiliated with the yeshiva, who I did hatavas chalaim for him probably at least 50 times. And his family has a history of dreams, and of dreams that came true. He stams from, the famous book All for the Boss, right? Rabbi Yaakov Yosef Herman. So if you read that book, he was a dreamer, and his dreams were very potent. His dreams had real meaning, and this person is a relative of Rabbi Yaakov Yosef Herman's. So he doesn't take dreams lightly. He takes dreams very seriously. So I did Hatavas Chaloim for him many times. So I once asked for Ruvain, Hatavas Chaloim, Hatava, hey tes vav, Hatava is to make good, from Lashon of Toiv. So it means you had a dream that was a bad dream. So there's a nusach hatfila that you get together 3 people, and you say a tefillah, and you say psukim, and the one who had the dream says certain things, and the ones that are listening to it respond with certain psukim, and it's to sweeten the dream. It's to turn the dream around, that the dream should be good, not bad. That's where the lashon of Hatavas Chalaim comes. Chalaim chalamti v'eni yadei mahu. That's what the tefillah that we say by Berachas Kahanim. No, not Paiser. No, you're not interpreting. You're not interpreting the dream. You're just turning over a dream. So I asked Reuven, what's the geder when you make a tainus chalaim, when you should worry about a dream, when you shouldn't worry about a dream? So Reuven told me, based on the Gemara in Brachas, that the dream shouldn't bother you. And if the dream doesn't bother you, you don't have to worry about it at all. If you could write up the dream, that the dream is shtus, and it's just a dream, and forget about it, then you don't have to worry about it. But if it really bothers you, and you can't shake it, if it somehow you can't get away from it. It just shakes you. He says, then you really have to consider whether you should have a tainas chalaim or at least you should make hatavas chalaim. But when he finished it, he told me, but the dream shouldn't bother you. it shouldn't bother you. That was his.
That means you don't have to fast? You do this.
I don't know.
I thought to take away the fast.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But okay, so the Mechaber says, if you fasted a tainas chalaim on Rosh Chodesh or Chanukah on Purim, so the Mishnah Berurah says in Ois Katan Yud Gimel, tainas chalaim shemuter lihisanois afilu b'Shabbos v'Yom Tov. You're allowed to make a tainas chalaim even on Shabbos or Yom Tov. Uchid'le'el b'Siman Reish Pei Ches Siv Daled, like we saw earlier in Hilchos Shabbos in Reish Pei Ches. V'hu hadinim hisana mishon neder. And the same halacha that the Mechaber is going to say over here also applies if somebody fasted on Shabbos or Yom Tov or Chanukah or Purim because he made a neder to fast and he couldn't be matir neder. So he's got to fast. So what does the Mechaber say? Tzarich l'meisav tainis l'tanisei. You're going to fast the tainis chalaim on Rosh Chodesh or on Chanukah or on Purim, or like the Mishnah Berurah is going to say, or on Chol Hamoed. You're going to fast that tainis chalaim, but you're going to have to fast another fast to get kapara for the fact that you fasted on one of these days. Says the Mishnah Berurah, cut your dollar, tainis l'tanisei. You're going to have to fast another fast for the fast that you fasted. Kedei l'chapra alav al shabita lo'inu Rosh Chodesh. Because you have to get kapara for the fact that you umavat lo'inu Rosh Chodesh. U'kamay la'el siman reish pei ches l'idin Shabbos. The Kosev among an Avram, she'em mis'ana tainis chalaim b'Rosh Chodesh Nisan or b'Rosh Chodesh Av. If you made a tainis chalaim on Rosh Chodesh Nisan or Rosh Chodesh Av, and we mentioned yesterday that there are those that hold that you're supposed to fast on Rosh Chodesh Nisan because that's when Nadav and Avihu died, or on Rosh Chodesh Av because that's when Aaron HaKohen died. Interestingly enough, that's the only yahrzeit that we have, I think, beferish in the Torah. Right. I don't think there's anybody else that it says beferish in the Torah.
It comes out in the week always.
Who?
We read it in that same week when it's Yahrzeit.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I don't think there's anybody else that it says in the Torah what date they died. By Aaron HaKohen, it says what date he died. So Aaron HaKohen, I think, is the only yahrzeit that's in the Torah.
All of the Shvatim, they know somehow the yahrzeit.
Yeah, but it doesn't say it in the Torah.
Then they say, how do you know when? How do they know when Rachel died or when Binyamin was born?
Right.
Because Rachel died the day that Binyamin was born.
Right, but how do we know when Rachel died? Because we know when Binyamin died.
Everybody knows Moshe Zayin, it's not the Torah.
Right, it's not in the Torah, Zayin Adar. It's not in the Torah. Okay.
We know who was born in Zayin.
Right. So because of Magen Avraham Shem is Sana Tanis Chalaim Rosh Chodesh Nisan or Rosh Chodesh Av Ein Tzarich L'Meisav Tanis L'Tanisai, then you don't have to make a tanis on the fact that you fasted. To Hayeshayim the mitzvah L'Hisanis Bem, because there are those that say that it's a mitzvah to fast on those days. The Chamavur L'Kamam is Siman Tavkuf Pei. Okay, now we go to what I believe is the shortest siman in Archaim for sure, maybe in Gantz Shulchan Aruch. Siman Taf Yud Tes Ubay Sif Echad. Mitzvah. There is a mitzvah laharbais pesudas Rosh Chodesh, to be marbe, to increase your suda on Rosh Chodesh. 5 words, shortest siman. Mitzvah laharbais pesudas Rosh Chodesh. Says the Mishnah Berurah is cut in Aleph. Mitzvah laharbais. V'af agav de me'ikar chiyuva einoi mechuyev lechol dvarim atu'unim birkas hamazon. Even though we said yesterday that there is no chiyuv to wash on Rosh Chodesh, and that's why if you forget Yalav Yava in benching on Rosh Chodesh, you don't have to repeat it, because there's no chiyuv to wash. V'yachal lotzeis b'sha'arei dvarim. So you could be yoitze, this concept of being marbe besuda without washing. U'kedala'el b'simin kuf peches. Mikol makayim. Hamoitzi, somebody who spends money, somebody who expends. That's what hamoitzi means over here. Hamoitzi al seudas Rosh Chodesh, somebody who expends funds on seudas Rosh Chodesh. Va'oichel v'shoyse by b'toiv, and he eats and drinks well on Rosh Chodesh. Harei zeh meshubach, he is praiseworthy. I saw over here in the Dirshu, they bring down a footnote number 2 in Taf Yud Tes. Ubitam Zeh Noeg Hagoyin, and I forgot his first name. It's Reb Chaim Kanievsky's father, the Stipler. What was his name? Yisrael Yaakov. Yisrael Yaakov. Yeah. So this is the Stipler. Lishtais b'chol Rosh Chodesh k'tzas yayin. He always drank some wine on Rosh Chodesh. The gam nosar l'bnei beisai lishtais v'af l'noshim. And he gave everybody in his household, and the women also, some wine to drink. V'amar shetzrichem l'chabed es yom Rosh Chodesh. And he would tell them, you have to be mechabed Rosh Chodesh. V'al yedei shtias hayayin marim shuhu yom tov. And through the drinking of wine, that's how he showed that it's a Yom Tov, that Rosh Chodesh is something that you have to be marba b'suda. The Kasva Paiskim, the Mishnah Berurah continues, the Paiskim write, B'shem Medrash Psikta, in the name of a Medrash, and this is brought down in Vayikra Rabbah, Kol Mezaynoisav Shel Adam K'tzuvin Lai Rosh Hashanah Ad Rosh Hashanah, a person's revenue, a person's parnasa, is set from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. So the Rebbeinu Shalom is geyser on Rosh Hashanah how much you're going to make. Chutz v'masha moitzi b'Shabbos v'Yom Tov, with the exception of what you spend on Shabbos and Yom Tov, v'Rosh Chodesh and Rosh Chodesh, v'Chol HaMoed, u'masha hatinoikos moilichan lebeis Rabban. Now we'll see what that means in a minute. So the parnasa of a person is set on Rosh Hashanah for the whole year, with the exception of these expenditures. Im moisif, if you spend more on these things, moisif and light, then the Rebbeinu Shalom will add on to what you make. So if you decide to spend more money on Shabbos, you don't have to worry that you're using up your available funds. You spend more money on Shabbos, the Rebbeinu Shalom will increase your funds accordingly. You spend more money on Rosh Chodesh, the Rebbeinu Shalom will increase your funds accordingly. Reb Reuven always told me that this does not mean that you should walk into pomegranate and buy the most expensive thing in pomegranate for Shabbos. What it means is that kifi, your standard, in other words, if you're a guy who to mark a special occasion, you would make prime rib, so then on Shabbos you can make prime rib. Now prime rib is expensive. It doesn't matter. You increase your expenditures for Shabbos, the Rebbeinu Shalom will give you increased funds. But you want to say, I never had smoked goose. Smoked goose is nothing I'll ever eat. But it says over here, hey, you know what? I like scotch. I walked into the wine store and they have a $2,500 bottle of scotch. So I'll buy a $2,500. I saw in Teaneck, you should know. There's a very nice. My son goes to yeshiva in Teaneck, and down the block there's a very nice liquor store over there. So often when I pick them up for Shabbos, I get my wine for Shabbos over there. And apparently, Kiddush on Shabbos in Teaneck is a big deal, with wine and schnapps and everything else. And they have bottles of schnapps over there for $2,000, $2,500. So you want to walk in and you want to say, covered Shabbos, I'm going to buy the $2,500. $2,500 schnapps is not something that's shaykh to you. If it's not shaykh to you, you don't go buy it. But if a $100 bottle is shaykh to you, and you want to say, you know what, I'm going to buy a $100 bottle, and I'm going to put it away, and I'm going to have a shot every Shabbos, l'chvayid Shabbos. That you could do, and the Rebbeinu Shalom will give you that $100. How will the Rebbeinu Shalom give it to you? So for years, Reb Reuven always called the car the great equalizer. He always called the car the great equalizer. He says, what's pshat? Pshat's simple. He says, the Rebbeinu Shalom owes you money, the car doesn't break down for 6 months. You got too much money and the Rebbeinu Shalom wants to take some back, the transmission goes, the radiator goes, the AC goes. He says, so the car is the great equalizer. He says, and the Rebbeinu Shalom has plenty of ways to give you money, to take money away. And the truth is that I saw this b'chush. What I said was that by me, for a number of years, the great equalizer was, what do they call it when you work for a big company in corporate America? Flex funds, where they have pre-tax dollars that they take out of your paycheck. So let's say my wife has health insurance through her employer, right? But then you have certain things that are not covered by your health insurance. So let's say the copays to the doctor. So every time the kid went to the doctor, I have a $20 copay. So after your insurance, you're still paying $20. But what the government allows you to do is you could set aside a certain amount of pre-tax dollars. You could set aside, let's say, $2,000 pre-tax dollars at the beginning of the year. and they give you a debit card, and you pay your co-pays out of that. So at least it's pre-tax. You're not going to get taxed on that money. But that money is use it or lose it. So you set aside $2,000. By the end of the year, you got to use it or you lose it. So in the beginning of the year, by open enrollment, we had to sit down and make a cheshbon. How much should we set aside? So I remember I made a cheshbon of the previous year. The maximum you could set aside was $5,000. So I made a cheshbon, and in that previous year, we used, I think, like $4,200 in uncovered medical expenses. So I said, all right, I guess I'm going to set aside $4,000. So I remember I was schmoozing with Ruben afterwards. Ruben said, what are you, nuts? You're giving up that money. Who says the kids have to be sick so many times? He says, if you set aside $4,000, that means you're telling the Ribbono Shel Olam, I'm ready to spend $4,000 on co-pays. He says, set aside $500 and say, Ribbono Shel Olam, help me out, that I shouldn't. So I said, okay, fine. So I set aside $500. I think we used $400. By the way, just another interesting thing that I heard this morning, this hurricane, whatever it's called, it went away from Florida, right? Did you hear the story about the governor of Florida? The governor of Florida apparently several months ago went to Eretz Yisrael, and he went to the Kaisel, and he davened by the Kaisel. Afterwards, they asked him, Governor, what did you pray for? No hurricanes. Shlomo HaMelech's tefillah to the Ribbono Shel Olam, when he built the Beis Hamikdash, was that if a goy davens el hamakom hazeh, his tefillah should be niskabel. And the Gemara says that a non-Jew has an edge over a Jew. A Jew's tefillah, a Yid's tefillah, I'm not going to say it's not makubal. The Ribbono Shel Olam accepts every tefillah, but he doesn't necessarily give you the answer that you want. But a non-Jew's tefillah, Shlomo HaMelech was mispal that the Ribbono Shel Olam should give him whatever he asks for. Why? Because the Gemara says a Yid will be matzdik the din. A Yid will say, the Ribbono Shel Olam heard my tefillah, he didn't give me what I wanted because I don't deserve it, or I need kippur avonos. A guy is going to say, there's no God, he don't listen. So a non-Jew won't be matzdik hadin. So Shlomo HaMelech said, because a non-Jew won't be matzdik hadin, just be makabel his tefillah. They said the hurricane is going to hit Florida. It didn't hit Florida. It stalled and it went away. All right. So it says in the Psikta that these expenses don't count. In Moisif Moisifin Loi, v'im Poiches Poichen Loi. If you give less, the Ribbono Shel Olam will give you less. The Kosav HaBeis Yosef, and the Beis Yosef says, the Masha Amar, what does this mean, what the Psikta says? Masha hatinoikos moilichan lebeis rabban. Literally it means what the children bring with them to yeshiva. That, whatever you spend on that, doesn't count. You spend more, the Ribbono Shel Olam will give it to you. You spend less, he'll give you less. What does that mean, what they bring to the yeshiva? So this machlokes. The Beis Yosef says, Koi al schar limud. It goes on schar limud. Tuition. Now, tuition. I shouldn't say tuition. Because tuition, if our tuition is $15,000, how much of it goes for schar limud, I don't know. A certain amount of it is schar limud. A certain amount of it is textbooks. A certain amount of it is lunch. A certain amount of it is English teachers. A certain amount. So not all tuition is schar limud. A certain amount is schar limud. But what you give for schar limud doesn't count. V'habach pirish, the Bach learns pshat differently. He says, the kai al Rosh Chodesh, that when it says what the tinoikos bring to the yeshiva, it's going back on Rosh Chodesh. It's what they bring to yeshiva on Rosh Chodesh. What does that mean? V'hakavana al masha anu noyagin l'shloyach hayedei tinoikos mois shel Rosh Chodesh l'rabban. There was a minig to send a tip to the Rebbe on Rosh Chodesh. Ve'ein levatel aminig. And he says over here, you should not be levatel aminig, the Bach says. So the Bach says, you're sending a tip to the Rebbe, that doesn't count. Whatever you give him, in Moisif Meisifin Loi, in Piches Peichen Loi. Okay, let's see if we could finish up over here. Ice cotton bays, besudas Rosh Chodesh. You should be marbe in sudas Rosh Chodesh. Nire, Chavis Chaim says, it seems to me, the masha marbe besuda b'yayim l'chvoid Rosh Chodesh dai. It's enough to be marbe besuda by day on Rosh Chodesh. Vein tzarich laharbis kam b'layla. You don't have to be marba b'suda by night. Kasva achrayim, da medaktik ibnei hagim, kishachol rosh chodesh b'achol, when Rosh Chodesh would fall out on a weekday, oisem Michael echad yoiser mikol hayamim l'chvayid Rosh Chodesh. You add a Michael. So Rosh Chodesh falls out on Wednesday. If usually for breakfast you have a bagel and a coffee, so have a Danish. Add something. I don't want to break the diet, but add something on Rosh Chodesh. Add epis Michael on Rosh Chodesh, l'chvayid Rosh Chodesh. Kishachal b'Shabbos. If Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbos, oisem Michael echad yoiser mimasha noagim b'chol Shabbosos. So now you have to add a Michael on top of what you normally have on Shabbos. So this is some people would say, oh, I need an extra kugel. Because on Shabbos, you need a kugel to add for Shabbos, and now you need another kugel for Rosh Chodesh if Rosh Chodesh fell out on Shabbos. So instead of just having sweet luxury kugel, you got to have the salt and pepper too. Or instead of the potato, you got to have the potato and the sweet luxury kugel. Kedei sheyeh nicker kavod shel Rosh Chodesh. V'ayin b'magen Avram sheherich b'dinei berkas hamazon shel Rosh Chodesh. The Magen Avram over here goes to length to talk about the dinim of benching on Rosh Chodesh, v'yalav yava, etc. Kfar aveisim mixas dvarav le'el b'sayv Shimon Kuf Peiches b'Mishnah Berurah. We already spoke about this in Kuf Peiches and Hilchos Berkas Hamazon. O mixas dvarav ha'atakti l'kabal b'siman Tav Chav Daled. We're going to speak about it more in Tav Chav Daled b'Ezras Hashem b'Mishnah Berurah ki sham mekaymai, because that's where the halacha belongs. Okay. Baruch Hashem.
There was a story that I read in the paper called
Yeah.
And the letter said he had somebody was writing, I got to tell you a story. He says, my son is in Israel, I'll make it short. He's in yeshiva there. And it was Erev Shabbos, and he goes with his friend. They wanted to shop for Shabbos. So they say, we don't have much money. He says he only has a certain amount. He says, you don't have to worry about it. My father says that wherever you spend on Shabbos comes back. So that money is not a problem. You go to a supermarket and they take a few things and they're ready to check out. And a lady asked them, can I go in front of you please? My baby is giving me a hard time. Yeah, go right ahead. So she goes ahead of them. First of all, that friend of his laughed off the whole thing. You really believe it? He said, yeah, my father said that.
Yeah.
And he took it seriously. So that lady passes by. Now it's his turn, the cashier. And she says, you don't have to pay. Your friend has to pay. She took care of you. The lady in front, it already worked. On the spot.
So Reb Ruvain tells Yungalite.
Yeah.
Reb Ruvain tells Aram and Yungalite when they get married. No, not as that. He tells them, I'm going to teach you how to eat all week for nothing.
That's true.
So they say, how? He says, very simple. It's you and your wife sitting down to the Suda Friday night, right? So really all you need is 2 fratlach chicken. That's all you need. He says, but meat is better than chicken. Maybe you like meat, maybe she likes chicken. Maybe you want schnitzel. Maybe you're in the mood of schnitzel. He says, so make for Friday night for the Suda, make chicken, make schnitzel, make some meat. Bring it all out to the table. It's zicha bigger covered Shabbos if all that food is out on the table. Now take the leftovers, put it in the fridge. You eat it all week and it's all free because it was all l'chvayid Shabbos. So I'm teaching, and he says it. He says, this is how you're going to eat all week free.